In Ex Machina, it's Nathan's hubris that is ultimately his downfall. Yet many of his mistakes could have been avoided with a good dose of humility. If he'd not been such a fool and he'd recognised his limitations, he might have been more willing to see where things might go wrong or not go as he expected and to seek additional help. Several hundred years and more ago, it was easier to get away with mistakes with the technologies we invented. If something went wrong, it was often possible to turn the clock back and start again, to find a pristine new piece of land or a new village or town, and chalk the failure up to experience. From the Industrial Revolution on, though, things began to change. The impacts of automation and powerful new manufacturing technologies on society and the environment led to hard-to-reverse changes. If things went wrong, it became increasingly difficult to wipe the slate clean and start afresh. Instead, we became increasingly good at learning how to stay one step ahead of unexpected consequences by finding new, if sometimes temporary, technological solutions with which to fix emerging problems. Then we hit the nuclear and digital age, along with globalization and global warming, and everything changed again. We now live in an age where our actions are so closely connected to the wider world we live in that unexpected consequences of innovation can potentially propagate through society faster than we can possibly contain them. These consequences increasingly include widespread poverty, hunger, job losses, injustice, disease, and death. And this is where permissionless innovation and technological hubris become even more dangerous. For sure, they push the boundaries of what is possible and in many cases lead to technologies that could make the world a better place. But they're also playing with fire in a world made of kindling, just waiting for the right spark. This is why in 2015, Musk, Hawkins, Gates and others were raising the alarm over the dangers of AI. They had the foresight to point out that there may be consequences to AI that will lead to serious and irreversible impacts, and that because of this, it may be expedient to think before we innovate. It was a rare display of humility in a technological world where hubris continues to rule. But it was a necessary one if we're to avoid creating technological monsters that eventually consume us. But humility alone isn't enough. There also has to be some measure of plausibility around how we think about the future risks and benefits of new technologies. And this is where it's frighteningly easy for things to go off the rails, even with the best of intentions.